My name is Kelly Main, and I've been teaching at Cal Poly for maybe 14 years now, I think. I I did my undergraduate work in economics as well as my master's work in economics from UC Davis and then Brown University. And then I went out into the field and worked as actually a practicing planner for many years, for probably at least 7 or 8 years, and then decided I wanted to go back and get my PhD so I could come into teaching and research. And so I worked as a practicing planner for another 7 years while I got my PhD at UCLA. So that's where I got my PhD. So in practicing, I practiced in Southern California and in city planning, and one of the things that I think was really valuable about that experience was that I was in several city planning departments too, really, that where I got just the widest range of experience. So, which is really reflective of the field to me, because the field is very, it has just such variety in what you can do and what you cover. And so I got to work on historic preservation, design, open space preservation, just everything you can think of really in the field. My area of specialty, I really have two areas of specialty. One is I'm interested in the meaning that places have for people, the level of attachment people have to place. One of the things I noticed when I was a practicing planner was that we were often talking to people about things like land use and circulation and those kinds of things, which are, essential, right, to a city. But they were often talking to us really about how much they cared about a place and how concerned they were about places, and that we weren't quite speaking the same language. So one of the things I'm really interested in is how can planners quickly communicate well with community members, and find out what matters to them in language that is really more the language of community members. I'm very interested, having practiced for a long time. I mean, I enjoy planning, the creation of plans, but I'm interested in whether the planning gets implemented actually in the community and whether it makes a difference. So recently, what I've been exploring is I've been interviewing cities that have basically adopted policies as part of their community-wide plans, their kind of broad vision for the community, particularly policies that address diverse communities and diverse community members, and making, sort of addressing some of the neighborhoods that have fewer amenities that are related to healthy communities, and find out if their plans are being implemented. I think it's just so important to keep that passion going, that interest, whatever motivated you to do what you did as an undergraduate, to study what you studied, whatever you really care about, to try to remember to stay in touch with that, even when, your workload is pretty serious, or you're asked to do things that maybe don't quite align with your own viewpoint. It's just important to figure out how to negotiate that. And I think that's the reality of the workplace, particularly in the field of planning. And so it's to stay sort of centered in that is really an important thing, I think.